And it's time to get this show underway. Spawning up here in the top right position of Beckett Industries to start out this best of 7. Give it up for Team Liquid's Clem. And his opponent down here in the bottom. He is the Italian Stallion representing Clash. Give it up for REYNOR. Now this is the finals of the European portion of the DreamHack summer event that has recently concluded here, as these replays have just about come out. And the biggest thing about this, you may have noticed that even though that this is game 1, we already have a win down for Clem. Now, the reason for that is because he made his way through the winner's bracket, and that does get him an automatic +1 victory over REYNOR to start things off here. And so that's just a little bit of an advantage. That is pretty good, as he's not going to have to work as hard. He only needs 2 more victories. So from here on out, it's essentially a best of 5 for him, while REYNOR is going to have to go the full stretch to defeat him. And honestly, if you hear the way that REYNOR talks about Clem, you know that he is not super confident in his ability to beat him. As he said definitely in one of his winners interviews, that he is the player that he least wants to play, as he said that he usually loses. But we'll have to see if that is indeed the case here. To start things off, it looks like Clem is just going to be going for a super standard opening. Gets the first scout, just making sure that REYNOR isn't doing anything super cheesy, which, by the way, he's not. And behind it, I would like to see if Clem does decide to go for the fast 3rd CC that we see a lot of Terran players doing nowadays. It looks like for the moment he's not, as the Reaper just going to be kind of dancing around, looking for some kills here and there. Not going to be able to find too many here, as a good micro back from REYNOR. Going to keep all of these lings alive. Might get a drone, but does not at the last second. But yeah, I feel like Clem is one of those players who is more than comfortable on the 3-base economy. Once he gets that kind of push going, he is an unstoppable force here. REYNOR, he's not an immovable wall, by the way. He is more like the backstabbing wall, you know? He will kind of stop your attack while also crushing you in the backfield with some very aggressive backstabs. And right now it looks like the Reaper is just kind of dancing around, trying to give him a little bit of work. But for the meantime, he's not too worried about that. He's just going to try and get that 3rd base up nice and safe. Looks like he will be able to do so as the Reaper is pushed away. Ooh, just barely not going to get the creep tumor there. Nice little move. Just trying to slow that down, because REYNOR has taken the much more aggressive 3rd base location, meaning that there's going to be a good potential for that creep highway to go straight to the potential 3rd of Clem very, very fast. Looks like for Clem, he's just going to focus on his map presence right now, getting plenty of Hellions to kind of keep REYNOR stuck in his own base. Even going to add on the Banshee with Cloak for a little bit of extra damage. But keep in mind, there is no armory. He's just going to go straight into Stim behind this. Alien's just kind of dancing around looking for an opening, but the Queens are pretty well spread. There's not too many drones on this base either, so it's not really worth diving for them, as you would lose way more than you would gain. So behind this, REYNOR is just going to just going to try and get his economy to drone up as quickly as possible. He definitely wants to hit that 70 to 80 worker count very, very soon, just to make sure that he can stay safe versus the soon-to-be non-stop aggression here, as that third base will be going up quite soon for Clem. Now that first Banshee kind of just waiting for its buddy, not really being utilized right now. Trying to get rid of the creep tumor, but that almost cost him the Reaper. Behind this, we kind of just see both sides playing it semi-passive. Even the Hellions are going to go home to kind of augment his first big attack, as we do have siege tanks on the way. Stim is about to complete, +1 attack, and armor has started as well, as the Banshee's going to be coming in here, getting a couple of quick kills before having to go on the retreat. They will find a relatively undefended fourth base. This looks to be a pretty quick cancel here for REYNOR. He's gonna have to cancel it. He does get it back down, however. So a pretty good move here from Clem. Just trying to delay that for as long as possible. And as we see, he is heavily overdroned right here. Waiting for that fourth base to come up. Lair is about to complete. He's not too far behind in terms of the upgrades. But here is where Clem, who by the way is up 54 to 38 on that army supply, this is where he's really going to start to live. As this aggression, I doubt, will stop relatively soon. Good focus fire on those medevacs. Going to save some of those Marines, but he does lose quite a few of them. So this attack really got shut down much quicker than I was expecting. Very good pickoffs there from REYNOR. And that's really just going to allow him to get those additional drones. And, yeah, he's hit exactly where he wants to be. Queen's going to shoo away the Banshees in the backfield. Clem is established. Yeah, it's going to be kind of who blinks first. And honestly, if you know TVZ, it's definitely going to be the Terran player who needs to make the next move. Right now, he doesn't want to go too far onto the creep, as he does have a big risk of getting surrounded here. The reinforcements, though, going to make this enough. There's not that many Banelings with this. In fact, there are none. Siege Tank's doing a little bit of friendly fire damage here, and a medevac will go down. But the link count has been decimated here as Clem continuing to push forward. That was actually a really good engagement for him. Even gonna make this attack even more powerful with the Hellbats in play. And taking a look at that, 70 Lings going down in that engagement. Definitely worth it for Clem. You know what? This is the biggest problem with this map. Beckett Industries has such a nice tank positioning here that REYNOR is going to struggle to clear this up. Looks like he is just going to abandon this base for the time being. He can't afford to kind of defend it for right now. He needs to build up here a couple of additional units with a huge Bailey connection, though, getting 9 workers dead. A beautiful little backstab there. But that Widowmine just kind of being the MVP here. He's fighting with very small amounts of Banelings, and he can't really afford to go off the creep full right now either. So Clem just keeping this engagement rolling with very small amounts of units, forcing REYNOR to take inefficient fights. Now the Hive is done, by the way, and looks like he's going to be going up to Broodlords very, very soon, hoping that there isn't a counter out. Looks like we don't have a Ghost Academy, so that might indeed be true. but Clem is just really not going to let him have any sort of room to breathe anymore, as he's just going to keep these attacks rolling. The Marines battling their way forward, just staying on the edge of creep. Trying to find those mine positions is REYNOR, but again, he just really doesn't have a lot to work with here. So Clem just trying to bait him forward. A good pick off there with that Baneling in the front. Nice on Burrow, though. He doesn't have burn claws just yet, so has to be careful with that. A big pick off there. Gonna get rid of a lot of these Banes. Looks like we had a little bit of a Widowmine sneaking in. How did it get there? As we have the main army trying to fight its way forward, but he's gonna have to abandon another base. And he can't really afford to keep doing this, as Clem is on 4 bases himself. REYNOR is also very, very broke here. So he's going to have to rely on these Broodlords to make things work. 9 workers going down so far. Looks like that Widowmine, or a Liberator rather, doing some more work. A big Baneling connection right there. Going to clean up a lot of Clem's army. At the end of the day, though, this might just be a little bit too much. 6 kills on this Liberator, 19 overall. This is a very dicey position for REYNOR. And I hate to keep saying it's a dicey position, but that's exactly what we're seeing here. Clem is ahead in every single regard. Army supply, worker supply. Looks like the Widowmine's actually got a connection on something. I think a Broodlord went down. But here we go. Clem is just going to stim it to win it. Now, obviously, Jagannatha is kind of the best place for a Zerg player to stop the kind of bleeding that REYNOR is going through right now. The rush distance is deceptively short because of those generation fields. The 3rd base is very easy to defend as long as you get that creep corridor nice and thorough. And yeah, it's going to be a little bit tricky for Clem to kind of rotate around this map. With that first little bit of aggression, with those Hellions, with those, those first couple of attacking units. Nothing too crazy out of both sides, however, as REYNOR is just kind of building up, getting that spawning pool down at a normal time. Clem just going to get the scout off, seeing that, hey, this is just a hatch first. There's nothing too crazy coming my way. And that's going to make him confident enough to just drop this on the low ground and send the Reaper out for a little bit of an expedition. Go for the quick kill. Not going to get it here. REYNOR very quick on the draw. The Zergling will go down. Second one to follow. And the drone will actually die. So a 3-kill Reaper to start things off. That is fantastic damage. Unfortunately for REYNOR there, he was probably expecting the wraparound, so he didn't have all his lings in the same location. Back at home, we do have that 3rd CC coming on down as well. So he's just looking to power up and get that War Machine 3 CC army down as quickly as humanly possible. REYNOR has his own 3rd base down. He's choosing the more aggressive option. This one is closer to the opponent. So definitely going to use that to kind of spread the creep further forward in order to get that kind of early warning zone, as well as set himself up for very powerful pushes later on. And once again, Clem gonna get the Banshee behind all of this, but this time going to skip the thing that he is going down right here. He's getting cloaked. Never mind. Beautiful scout by REYNOR, however, gonna see absolutely everything. And that kind of tells him, hey, I can go up to layer tech. I can drop down a couple of additional drones before I actually have to start making offensive units here. Now, I think he already does have a spore in his base. No, not yet. He's trying to focus on the mobile defense of the queens. But so far, doing a pretty good job here of kind of keeping these Hellions away while the creep is spreading. Now, the biggest thing for REYNOR is he does know that that third CC is already down. So, he knows he doesn't have a lot more time in order to kind of get that economy rolling. He's currently up about 10 workers, as you can kind of see, but he needs more than that. He needs at least 70 before he can start really focusing heavily on his army. And now we see that kind of explosion in production from Clem. 3 additional racks on the way, and Stim about to complete. Gotta say, if Clem knew how little there was to defend, knowing that it's only queens, he might be a little bit more bold, and that's exactly what he's gonna be. REYNOR looking for the surround, but Clem just deciding to go for it. We do have a little bit of a backstab going on up here, but the Hellions fighting the Lings straight up. I think this might be a little bit too much, and REYNOR will have to get on out of there, as will Clem. So a bit of a disengage from both sides. REYNOR going to get the better of the trade. These mules not mining. That is a lot of lost income there for Clem. And I mean, honestly, I think REYNOR did very well there. Did he lose the queen? I don't think he did. In fact, let's take a look. Yeah, just a bunch of Lings going down. Not even 2 drones. So now Clem has to kind of cede a lot of that map presence that he built up, because he doesn't want to lose these Hellions. It's kind of become important in the meta to utilize them for your first big attack. Kind of just to soak up what you expect to be Balins on the other side, but oh my goodness. First time seeing the Mutalisks. And they will catch the drop that Clem was going for here, so a bit of a mistake on Clem's part. Just going to lose the medevac. Widowmine not going to be able to go down. And these 2 Widowmines as well, just kind of stuck in place for the meanwhile. Good catch by Clem. He's going to get a very quick pick off there. 1 meter going down, but now it comes down to, will he have enough to kind of push through here? REYNOR has hit that magical number of 83. So he is going to be sitting pretty here, just pumping out army units, even going to get a couple of additional hatcheries, not only to expand, but just to make sure that he has enough production to keep up with the Terran player. Mutalis just kind of trying to zone this army out. That creep is absolutely everywhere. If Clem wants to attack, he's going to have to go so far forward. We'll get quite a bit of it. With the army on this side, we'll have to pick up and get on out of there. The Banshees will go down. Not really the best for Clem right now, as he's kind of stuck in this defensive position as he builds up his army. It's just really hard to move out once the Zerg player hits this kind of critical mass. REYNOR, though, gonna make the most out of these Mutalisks. It's a very nice little pick off right there. Fortunately, these Mutas might get surrounded. This is a very dicey position, but it looks like he will be able to just barely get out of here. A small Baneling run by will get 7, 8 workers over here on the third and deny some mining for Clem. So an excellent little backstab there by our Italian Zerg player. We're going to get one nice shot off, but it's not as mobile as they would like. So the Mutas will be able to escape. As I say that, he does take a little bit more damage. The main army as well, just going to try and come in here. Does get deflected, but 10 workers going down. Looks like a Widowmine on the retreat. Gets a couple of additional kills. So now it's Clem's turn. He is up 40 army supply right now. He is getting right on top of these queens. So they will start to go down. They have a lot of energy though. So just barely surviving. Looks like Clem trying to take one big engagement with his whole army, and that's kind of what you got to do at this point, because small attacks will get cleaned up relatively quickly here by both the Mutas and the swarm of Lings. I feel like there might be just a few too many drones here for REYNOR as well. He's sitting at 100, so that's why his army supply isn't really looking too hot here. Ooh. Nice cleanup there by Clem as well. The Muta's going to try and get in here. Gets 4 workers before kind of going down. Has to be careful. And he will take quite a bit of damage here, but the Thor not able to finish things off. Only losing about 4 Mutalisks there. Looking for more. Now the Muta's finally starting to go down. That Muta ball not looking as scary as it has been. And REYNOR actually just making a big mistake losing that. Here we go. The Baneling's going to be coming in to the planetary, but they're not high enough in number to clean it up. So now Clem dancing his way forward. He has what looks to be an unstoppable army here. REYNOR is going to need some very good trades in order to stay alive. Looks like to start things off, the Widowmine's going to clean up a lot of the Banes, the Hellbats as well, soaking up quite a bit of damage. And without the Mutas in support, I don't know, this is a very dicey situation here for REYNOR. Them though getting caught out. Widowmine's getting a huge connection there. 8 kills in total. With a lot of REYNOR's army preoccupied up here at the top of the map. Even though it looks like he's starting to kind of clean this up, it's a pretty much at what cost situation. Just kind of taking a look at it again. 13 more workers going down. Or 20 rather. All the Mutas gone. So many Banes, so many Lings dying off. Even losing an Ultralisk here. He doesn't have chitinous, but he is being forced to engage while Clem is on creep. Does have a couple of Widow Mines ready to go in case of a flank. But Clem is still pushing his way forward. Good focus fire on a lot of those Banes. He does take one, but it is not enough to close it out. Looks like Clem will retreat, and the supply is actually starting to even up. REYNOR starting to build up a very small bank. 1,400 minerals being saved up. Now taking a look at this, it looks like Clem doesn't have a lot to join up with this army. Just gonna keep a lot of these units at home. It looks like another small Ling run by is gonna get deflected. I gotta say, these Widow Mines are the MVP. Whether they're catching the army on the retreat or stopping the attack from moving forward, they have done an absolutely amazing job in making sure that REYNOR can't really move out without taking a hit. Now another run by is going to come in here, but that is a very big commitment from REYNOR. Ultra that's gonna go down. 6 more workers on this side. You know, Clem is just going to try and take those trades and then come on back. There we go. Now we see REYNOR finally going to start to make some work happen. 5 workers going down. As well, he's going to try and clean up this base, but it's just not enough to close it out. Maybe. Okay, he does get it in the end. 18 workers going down, and now the situation, it's not looking terrible for Clem. But if REYNOR can defend against this push, he's going to be looking to set himself up quite nicely. But again, it comes down to defending right now. As Clem taking a very good trade there. So I'd say what the biggest problem for REYNOR has been in this series is just the fact that he is taking very inefficient trades in the mid to late game. We kind of saw what happened when he tries to engage into the Widow Mines here. He doesn't really split his units off super efficiently. He hasn't been able to kind of stunt the growth of Clem either, as Clem has very easily gotten up to that 3-base economy where he kind of just lives. And I think REYNOR does have the ability to kind of stop that, but he's going to have to be a lot more proactive in the early stage of the game. I mean, if anyone's going to do it, it certainly is REYNOR. He is known for his aggression. It's just Clem does know how to like fight him blow for blow in that regard. Like REYNOR is going to get a 3rd base a lot quicker this time as well. Only to be kind of halted by this Reaper coming in. He's going to go for a couple of quick kills, but not going to find him here, as REYNOR is just going to pull back his units. In fact, not going to pull back anything, just goes straight for the dive in, gets the Reaper. And that is a lot of information from Clem gone. So he's just going to go back to what he does best, 3CC. I'm going for the if it ain't broke, don't fix it approach as well. Just grabbing a ton of Hellions here. And that's kind of the big thing about the 3CC, is that it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to stay back. We've seen that even with it, Clem has been very, very aggressive out on the map with these Hellions. He's been very good about forcing in those inefficient trades from REYNOR. And that's really kind of the power of it, as we've seen. Now, REYNOR is going to come in here, try and get a scout, but this time doesn't really get to see too much, as Clem is a little bit faster on the pull. Does see the fact that Stim is coming on down, and that the starport has been skipped in favor of an extra Rax. So that tells him pretty much all he needs to know. Now the big question is, when does he decide to stop droning? Because with this, Clem is looking to attack soon. And yeah, it's gonna be pretty hard to defend if you don't start getting some army units out like yesterday. I do like this. It looks like the choice of the day is a bit of a delayed Hellbat timing. With that armory coming on down, this is a very committed push. And because it hits so much later, it is that much more powerful because you have those additional Hellions, because you have the additional Marines with Stim. Oh, this is going to be an absolute carnage for REYNOR here. We see the Evo chamber dropping down the +1 attack and melee damage. And he's definitely going to need it here. It will not be out in time for the fight, but he will have some Banelings as well, so he's going to have to get some good connections here. Let's see if he can do it back at home. Clem is actually getting crushed at his third base. So a beautiful little backstab here from REYNOR to start this engagement off, just pulling away some of that attention. We're going to lose 5 workers of his own. For being able to push this back. So relatively equal trade there. Taking a look at the battle report. Clem is not done yet because he has committed so heavily into this. His +1 upgrades were very delayed, so he's going to be behind in that regard. So he needs to stay out on the map with this small group of units and kind of just bait out additional lings from REYNOR. You can't allow him to drone on from this point, or you're just going to get overwhelmed very, very quickly. A little bit of a Baneling run by, going to get 5 more workers. So this is REYNOR hitting his stride in this game. Like doing a much better job of kind of keeping Clem's attention back at home. Basically, yeah, REYNOR has forced Clem to keep a couple of units at home, including a Hellbat, which would be very nice on the front lines right now. And he's able to deflect the units on the other side. The reinforcements will start to pick this off, but not before losing 8 more workers. Even the Widowmine gonna help out. Kills off some additional Marines with that friendly fire splash damage. And I mean, Clem's just not really able to find an angle where he can come in and attack. He's gonna try and go for a bit of a double prong, but he doesn't really have the units to spare in order to do so. Good pull there from REYNOR. Going to keep a lot of these links alive as well. have a small little Baneling connection there. Not going to kill anything, but it has weakened it up enough that this attack is going to do so much work on the other side of things. He does get the cancel, does Clem. But, oh my goodness, this is getting from bad to worse for our French Terran player. Over here, he is going to get cleaned up once again. The overwhelming power of the Ling is just a little bit too much for him to bear. And now with Hive, looks like he canceled and restarted it, I imagine. A bit odd, but now he's going to go up to the Lurker Den. Nice. Very nice. So now Clem is really on a bit of a timer here. He is on primarily Marine Widowmine, taking a huge hit right there as well. Using quite a few units as REYNOR once again just getting in there and destroying this base. Things are going back to worse as Clem is dipping below 100 supply over and over again. And after losing that, he's down to 37 workers. So he's on a huge timer here. Once these lurkers pop, I don't think there's really going to be a way for him to stop it. And yeah, nothing really too much else you can say about that point. He just took way too much early game damage. REYNOR doing a very good job of it. And yeah, he's going to get an Overlord, but there's already an army here that's ready to go. Still keeping the Widow Mines out on the field is pretty nice, because if you can get a couple of good connections, that is an okay way to get back into it. But, you know, REYNOR is completely maxed out, and once again, Clem is going to make his way in, and that is going to be it. So I think the biggest question to ask here for REYNOR is, do you break out any special strategies to finish this off? Remember, this is the finals of the DreamHack Summer, so you don't really have too much to lose here. Obviously, you know, you want the most bang for your buck, so getting that first place finish is the best way to do so. And so I think breaking out something like maybe a Roach Rush or you know, 2-base Muta, maybe even a Nidus Swarm here and there might be the best way to kind of throw your opponent down, because you haven't really seen it so far in the series. Clem, though, is just going to get that scat off. Reveals, once again, the hatchery is down. 2,000 atmospheres is a little bit more roundabout, so it is just very good to kind of get that information. And yeah, the Reaper will kind of dance around once again. I like the positioning on the Lings, though, just trying to bait it in. Looks like he went a little bit too far down the ramp, so he did get revealed, though. Yeah, I'm not really expecting anything too crazy out of Clem. He is just a pretty straight up player. We'll get to that macro game and then just kind of beat you down with experience there. So yeah, this is about what I was expecting. 3cc into Hellions. So now the Reaper will be forced to retreat, only getting a couple of kills, no drones. Nothing really too much else to say, as we're going to be seeing that this game kind of power up a little bit further. Looks like we're going to go into more than likely cloak here behind this on those Banshees. I think that's going to be the best option for him. And yeah, he's going to commit pretty heavily here to that kind of soft contain. Trying to keep REYNOR on 3 bases and keep that economy down. Force the army units out to defend. Clem, though, is going to go a little bit further forward here, looking for some kills. He does get 1, but not too much else here. A good block by REYNOR will save the weakened drone. Kind of taking a look at it, looks like REYNOR's not overreacting as Clem might hope. Instead, just kind of droning up very significantly right now, and relying on the queens for the defense, not even making any additional lings. So that is very interesting to see here, because this does have the potential to snowball very, very quickly if you're not careful. But now we have a very comfortable mid game for both sides. We do see that kind of power up start to come in as REYNOR starts to hit, you know, the 60 drone count. Definitely gonna want to add a few more, but you know, adding on the upgrades is pretty nice as well, just to make sure that he stays even with his opponent. Been pretty proactive about his scouting as well, so he sees all this. He knows what's up, so he's got defenses in all of his bases. I doubt that this is going to get too much done. Although saying that, that lair is very far off. So looks like these guys will have a good run around the base for the time being. They're actually going to distract a lot of these queens, enough for the Hellions to come in and get 5 workers here. Since there's no lings for the wraparound, they will be able to get out of there with a majority of their health as well. So a good little 1-2 punch there from Clem. Double extra armory coming on in. That's gonna make these Widow Mines just a little bit more powerful. Will also allow him to go straight up to +2 upgrades here, while REYNOR will be getting that infestation pit down, allowing him to go up to a quick hive. So let's see how fast he does want to go into that. I think it would be pretty good to stay ahead like that, because if you can get that hive down before Clem kind of switches his economy to a late game army, you can throw him off very, very quickly. And we see Clem just kind of rotating around the creep. We'll get some huge Widow Mine connections. 13 kills on that one Widow Mine. And on the other side of things, the Hellions gonna morph into Hellbats and look for a quick kill on this base. I think REYNOR should be able to cancel it. He does. And yeah, good little, again, just a good little 1-2 punch here from Clem, keeping REYNOR on his toes. This game, REYNOR has been stuck on the defense. He hasn't been able to get into that third base like on Oxide, and it's really starting to show. Taking a look at that income advantage, it's only slightly in his favor. You never want it to be this close as the Zerg player. Oh no. Going straight for the spawning pool here. Clem doesn't have speed on his units just yet, so they will not be super speedy. And he loses the spawning pool before finally bringing some units over to defend. The Widow Mines as well, getting a huge connection on this side of the map, so things are going from bad to worse for REYNOR. He will not be able to bring any more lings to the party, so he's got to preserve what he has, take effective fights. You know what? I don't think Clem is going to want to let him do that. Now, he does have the advantage of Clem is still on primarily Marines with this army. And also, which means that these lurkers that he's going for will be a lot more powerful now that he's adding them in. But, he's taking so much damage to the Widow Mines once again, just taking inefficient fights. Clem up like 50 to 60 army supply right now, and he is just continuing to press through here, even just gonna lift up and go straight for the main base. Keeping the Widow Mines around to protect his flank, making sure that there's no run-bys available to him. And he gets out of there with the majority of his army, which he will just keep this push going. And this is the Clem that is not looking to be stopped anytime soon. More and more queens going down. And while I'm not going to count REYNOR out just yet, because we have seen some tremendous holds here, it's going to be a very big uphill battle from him from now on. A little bit of a mistake right there, losing the siege tank. But now the lurker's gonna keep REYNOR in the green. And he's gonna look for a little bit of a backstab to catch the reinforcements. We'll be able to find some of them. As the fight's just raging all over this map, I gotta say, this is an epic game for both sides. Lurker is moving a little bit too far forward. One of them will get the burrow, however. As we do have another Widow Mine just kind of dropping its payload. Now, even though REYNOR is retreating, he's using the lurkers to make it not a rout. Cleaning up a lot of the army of Clem here. Just take a look at this battle report here. Clem, looks like he's having fun killing off some of his own units as well, but 166 lings for 55 Marines. Pretty efficient trades from our Red Terran friend. So now REYNOR once again kind of just stuck in this defensive position. He's got to establish these bases and keep them up. He can't afford to lose any more in that regard. Some good splits, gonna make sure he doesn't lose too much to these Widow Mines. Now the Banshee gonna come in, maybe get some pot shots off. There's no Hydralisks nor Queens, so this is gonna have free reign for a little bit. The Clem is completely maxed out here. REYNOR sees an opportunity to go for a bit of a counter. He is committing quite a bit to it. More huge Widow Mine shots going off. He's going to get a lot of ghosts dead in the dust over here, however. And keep in mind, during all of this, he has been down some upgrades. He is only on 2-2 for these Zerglings. only just now getting adrenal glands, not even bothering to go for those +3. So that's one of the reasons that, yeah, these +3 attack on Clem is just doing so much work here. Losing quite a few lurkers, might even lose the Baneling Nest if that's focused down. Looks like the answer is he's not going to get it just yet. You still have a very nice lurker run by here. 7, 10 workers going down. If REYNOR can get a few more trades like that, force the army to remain at home, he just might be okay. But it's a big just, as Clem is still completely maxed out. Yeah, REYNOR just kind of having trouble getting above 100 army supply. So Clem just staying very, very aggressive here. Another huge run by, lots of lurkers coming in, but the Widowmines making short work of the Link support, losing a bunch of Banelings in the front as well. Oh my goodness. Clem just getting further and further ahead, attacking on multiple, was attacking on multiple fronts, but now just going to bring his army together. EMPs, not going to get a ton of energy kills on the Vipers, but it doesn't even matter. There's not really too much for the Vipers to be able to use this, to be used on. And this base is pretty much just forfeit here. The drones going down in droves. A couple of snipes as well. Gonna seal the deal. And as REYNOR starts to get pushed back further and further, Clem is just going to kite him off the creep and look to close this game out and take his victory in the DreamHack Summer Finals. REYNOR just trying to mount a valiant defense. He has done all that he can. Had a very good comeback in the last game, but unfortunately, I think he is starting to run out of steam. GG is called. Congratulations, Clem, for taking the DreamHack Summer Finals.